Okay, in this video, I was going to share with you 7 small and easy to do things that can make you feel a lot happier pretty much right away. And this really worked like magic in my own life. Basically, I finally woke up and realized that I was not happy. And I started to do some really drastic things in my life. And then I found that there were some small things that I could do that could totally change my life and just make me feel happier and enjoy my life more. And so in this video, I'm going to break down 7 small ways to feel happier right now. So make sure you hit the like button and let's dive right into this video. So number 1 is to let go of your future and to make right now worth living. It's this really weird thing where we're so focused on our future that we actually often build a terrible life. And that was what happened to me. My whole life was based off of getting ready for the future, and I was on a path that wasn't even mine. There's a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson that I said in my TEDx speech, and he said, "Don't go where the path may lead. Instead, leave the path and make your own trail." And I realized I was on somebody else's path. I was following somebody else's life, the prescribed path of society. And it wasn't even what I wanted. I never asked myself, what do I want out of my life? What would be a cool life for me? What interests me? I just did, this is what I have to do, and this is what everyone does, and this is what I need to do, and this is what I should do. And I never stopped to realize that that operating system was creating a really flawed life. And unfortunately, that's what almost everybody does. The Gallup polls in America said a few years ago about 70% of people are actively disengaged from their jobs, not to mention their life at large. And so I asked myself a couple simple questions. What would have to happen 1 year from now for you to look back and say it was the most successful and fulfilling year yet? What would have to happen, just like in the next year, for your life to look back and go, this is the best year I ever had. This is the most fulfilling year that I ever had. And for me at the time, when I finally woke up and asked myself that question, I wanted to travel around the world. I wanted to backpack and travel around the world. So I went and did it. And then I asked myself the question again. After I finished my travels for 6-9 months, I said, what do I want to do now? I want to write a book and become an author. That would be my dream career. Well, I sat down and I wrote a book. And I started doing this really simple path like that. What do you want? Let's do it. Instead of complicating and be like, well, I can't do it and I shouldn't do it and I won't do it and it's not possible to do it and they said I couldn't. I started focusing on building a life I actually wanted to wake up to. Not a future I hoped one day in a couple years I would wake up to, which is what most people do. They're gambling on the biggest risk of all, and that's the bet that one day they're going to get the time back. They're going to be able to buy their time back later in life. And it unfortunately doesn't work like that. And so instead of worrying about what could happen in 1 year or 2 years and 3 years, I just said, what do I want my life to be like now? And when I started pursuing that, I had freedom. I finally started waking up and I was stoked for my life. And so ask yourself, what would have to happen 1 year from now for you to look back and say it was the most successful and fulfilling year yet? Number 2 is to live on your own terms. I personally believe that individual sovereignty, individual liberty, and individuality in general is really the cornerstone to ever having any level of self-esteem and self-confidence and self-knowledge, spiritual understanding, because otherwise we're living out somebody else's program. Right? You think about everything like a computer program, and we understand that we're subconscious creatures. 95% of your life is subconscious, and sub means below. So you go, if we're all computer creatures, essentially, we're in a simulation, meaning it's an unconscious program that plays itself out. What happens to most people is the unconscious program they're playing out their whole lives is somebody else's paradigm. There was a palliative nurse. It's somebody who works with people on their deathbed. And her name was Bonnie Ware. She wrote a book called The Top Regrets of Dying. So she took the thousands of people that she worked with, patients that were on their deathbed essentially, and she started surveying them. And she compiled it into a book, and the number one regret out of all the people she worked with on their deathbeds was, I wish I would have lived a life true to myself. That was the number one regret. I wish I would have lived a life true to myself. And if we're honest enough with ourselves, almost nobody's doing that, because we're taught to give up our own individual sovereignty when we're young, from a very young age. And we're taught to follow the rules, and we're taught to follow the crowd. And then, you say you've got this dream, and everyone kind of says you need to be more realistic. And by the time we're 15, 16, 17, 18, 22, 23, it's done. We're just a robot. We just become sheep. And that's how most of us live our entire life. And I think one of the greatest joys in life came when I finally realized I was a sheep. Because then I was like, well, who am I really? And I had no idea. I thought who I was just what I saw in front of the mirror. Well, if you asked me, I'd say, I'm Jake Ducey. I'm 6'3". I weigh this much, my eyes are blue, I'm this many years old, here's what happened to me in my life, this is who I am. That's not who I am. First of all, what I see in the mirror is just a bunch of energy moving at a very high speed of vibration. It's just a rental car for my soul. And second of all, the rest of it is just my past. That's not who I am either. Who am I? And I was like, I don't know who I am. So then I said, well, who do I want to be? And that was an interesting question, because I didn't know. I wanted to be somebody that everyone else said was doing a good job. I wanted to be somebody that my parents thought I was successful. I wanted to be somebody that, everybody said was doing a good job. But in order to do all those things, you have to follow other people's rules in life. And if you follow other people's rules in life, you build unconscious anger and resentment, because the path you're on isn't yours. And that unconscious anger and resentment ultimately leads to anxiety. It leads to unconscious depression, resistance. And what happens is this culminates over our lives, and it can create, ultimately in bad situations, personality disorders where we don't realize why we have so much anxiety, because it's unconscious things from being not fulfilled with the path we're on. So ask yourself, who are you? And if you don't know the answer to that, then the next question is, who would you like to be? Who would you like to be? I asked myself that question, and I said, well, I want to be an author. I want to write books. I want to be a philosopher, essentially. And then that led to being a speaker and doing 500, 600, 700 high school and college speeches, making YouTube videos. I just said, who do I want to be? And I was like, all right, let me imagine this. This sounds good. This sounds inspiring. This sounds enlivening. This is who I'm going to be. I'm going to manifest my reality. And that journey is where happiness comes from, because it's all about self-sovereignty. Who are you? Who would you like to be? Number 3, daily gratituding. This is such a simple, easy one, right? Because what happens is we get stuck in our rat race mind, and oftentimes we forget about some of the nice things in our life. And this is the easy thing to do. You just pull out a pen and pad and you just make a list of 5 or 10 things you're grateful for every single morning. It's easy to think you're not grateful for anything when you're not happy, or when you're depressed. It's easy to feel like, I know from my own experience, that nothing's worth living for, or nothing is exciting, nothing's good. There's nothing to be happy about right now. You don't understand. And I felt like that before. Well, there's a certain power when you push through that part and you just start making a little stupid list of things you're grateful for. Just a little silly one, just a little simple one. And what happens is you start to shift your mind, because your mind is a mechanism that has central controls. And however it's programmed is how it operates. Like a thermostat, you set the thermostat for 70 and it makes sure that it works at 70. Maxwell Maltz wrote a book all about this type of psychological phenomena, and he called it psycho-cybernetics. And this was about a mechanism that many machines have that have programmed set points to operate in certain ways. And what happens is once you reprogram your mind for a place to operate, then it starts to shift consciousness in that direction. And when you make simple gratitude a habit, that's what tends to occur. And then the ironic thing is that the outside circumstances in your life seem to change. You attract new and different and better and more awesome things that match your newfound gratitude. And so if you want to do that, I also have a free success hypnosis. It's right there down below. My routine that I've done for 10 years is I write about what I'm grateful for while I listen to my success hypnosis. So I start really reprogramming my mind. I just plug it in, MP3. About 1 million people from all over the world have used it. It's free. It's right there down below. It's jakeshypnosis.com. You'll see it in the description and the comments right there down below, and it's free. The next thing is to just ask yourself this simple question. Is what I'm doing every day, is it worth trading my life away for? Is what I'm doing every day worth trading my life away for? Because the reality is we're all trading our life away for something. So the question is yours worth trading it away for? Because that is your purpose. So then people say, well, I don't know what my purpose is. Well, all you have to do is look at your life right now to say, where has my purpose been directed? And for most of us, we can't say yes to that. We can't say, yeah, it is worth trading my life away for. I love art. I love my business. I love my kids. I love this nonprofit. I love traveling. I love photo. I love that I have this job that's given me the freedom to retire my mom. Like whatever it is. Yes, but most of us say no to that. And when what that really means is we don't have a deep sense of purpose. If you're trading your life away for something that isn't worth it, that means you don't have a deep sense of purpose, which means there isn't a point you don't feel like there's a real point in your day. And if you don't feel like there's a real purpose in your day, you don't feel like there's a real purpose in your life, therefore, what's the point of anything? This leads to not feeling that happy. And so you could ask yourself, what would be worth trading your life away for? And then it comes down to courage. Do you have the courage to say, in my one and only life, I care about how happy I am? Most people don't. Or they're rationalized and convinced and guilted into thinking there's other things that are more important than their own happiness. Heck, you can't even be the best parent you can be if you're not living your best life, because what can you teach your children if you're not happy and you don't like what you do and you never strove for something greater and bigger and more inspiring? So it all comes back to that simple question. What is worth trading my life away for? In that answer, you will find your purpose, and in that answer, you will find your goals. Next, exercise. It's amazing the amount of studies that are out there for us that show how much depression and anxiety and overall lack of feeling happy is improved by exercise. There's so many university studies on it, and you just know when you go exercise, you feel better after. Yet we don't do it. And so what I encourage you to do is just find a little routine for yourself, even when you feel like crap. Sometimes it's actually great when you feel like crap because you're like, whatever, I'll just go do this great workout since I already don't have anything else that I feel great about. And what happens is you start to feel awesome. You start to feel more energized. You start to feel inspired. You start to get more confident. You start to have a greater sense of purpose in your day because you have something that you're being challenged by. Exercise, exercise, exercise. Next, write down some goals. Quite literally, just take 2 minutes right now and ask yourself, do you have any written goals? Most people don't have a single written goal. It's been amazing having, these larger YouTube channels because I get to interact with so many people. And it's amazing how many people don't have goals written down. So pull out a pen and pad and just write on it. What are your goals? What are they? And just write them down. Write down a financial goal. Write down a health goal. Write down a career goal. Write down a goal for reading. Write down a goal for hiking. I don't care, whatever it is. Just an intention. And put it down on paper. Put 1, put 2, put 3 of them down on paper and start putting energy into manifesting those things in your life. Okay, last but not least, meditation or visualization. This doesn't need to be this big, crazy, esoteric thing, especially if you never meditated or visualized before. If you're doing visualization, you can just imagine the future that you're intending to create now. You can imagine the person that you're intending to be. If you're meditating, you could just focus on the rising and falling of your breath, just quite literally. And just do that for a couple minutes, just like that. Rising, falling. And when you do that, amazing things happen. I mean, there's so many studies on people boosting moods from meditation. We know for a fact that if you focus on your breath, you're going to start to control your nervous system. Where does stress come from? Stress is a sensation that we experience in our nervous system. How do you calm your nervous system down? Breath. So if you can get a nice rhythmic breath, when you're having a panic attack, when you're anxious, when you're angry, when you're stressed, when you're depressed, when you're just feeling overwhelmed, if you could just go and do 10, 15, 20 of those breaths, you calm your nervous system down. And when you calm your nervous system down, you get out of fight or flight. You get out of fight or flight. And when you get out of fight or flight, you invite peace in. You invite the present moment in. And so if you want to do that, or you want to practice visualization, right there down below is my free success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's right there down below. It's my free success hypnosis that you can start to use during your visualization to start to reprogram old limiting beliefs and turn your subconscious mind into a magnet for what you want and desire in your life. It's Jake's Hypnosis in the description and comments right there down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give us a like. Hit the like button on this video. Give us a comment down below that says, I feel happy. Comment down below, I feel happy. Let me know your biggest takeaway from this video. When you hit the like button, when you leave a comment down below, it does actually help send the videos out to more people through the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe button on this side. This. And say, I am grateful to be alive. Go like this.